Hello, peoples of the earth. It's me. I'm back with another episode. This one. Oh my god!
being serious.
I just remember we used to shoot like gang video.
And then 3-hour rooms, just like this. I have
I would
some
die
stuff
laughing like of nothing.
and go off topic and wow.
I also came across some the other day, and because also my Google Drive is also out of space, so I was trying to delete stuff. Anyway, I'm back with another episode with my bestie. This is Sharon. Sharon, introduce yourself.
I'm Sharon. I mean, there's not much to say.
She's a doctor.
No, I'm not.
She's about to be on them cruise ships.
I'm an event planner, and I bake occasionally.
She's a doctor and an event planner and a baker. Okay? If you're lactose intolerant and you need somebody to hook you up with some nice cakes, she's the one. But
Anyway.
also if you're not lactose intolerant, she's still the one. Anyway.
That's my homie, yo.
Yeah.
From literally day one.
Like exactly day one. Yeah, so this episode is based around love. There's a song on the thing, I think it's number 3. It's called 412 that I wrote based off of a relationship, and writing it was interesting because it was like a level of vulnerable that I don't allow myself to like express. So seeing as we're like gangsters and thugs from day one, just like F love, anybody for this, I thought you're the perfect person to speak to this around this topic, because you currently like living your best love life, you know what I'm saying? Within the withins.
I'm within the withins.
Yeah, so just like, how was even the beginning of that like for you? Were you scared? Were you just like apprehensive at all?
I think in the beginning I was excited, but not for love.
Okay.
I was excited for all the wrong reasons.
Interesting.
Yeah. I was excited to just get out there and like experiment.
Yeah.
And just, catch vibes, because it seemed like it'd be nice vibes. I felt like, I could have vibes. But I wasn't at all thinking about love. I used to see love in a very out of touch way. Yeah. Like it's nice and it sounds wonderful, but it sounds there and it's not something within reach.
Yeah.
So I wasn't apprehensive because not in my wildest dreams was I thinking, I'm gonna fall in love.
This my man.
That's my and even in the beginning of my relationship, I was like, oh, this is fun.
Yeah.
And then sometimes he would tell me, because we had like a pact, a deal that we're gonna have a 3-month relationship, and in December.
Child, let me tell you something. I don't know none of this information. I'm just like, what?
Yeah, and in December, when the year ended, like he would have finished school, so he'd go on and do his own thing, and I'd still be in school, and because a foreigner, he would be probably placed in like rural areas. So it's like, I don't believe in distance. So I guess we were having a 3-month relationship. It is what it is, and it was still fun. So I was like, hey man, it was fun. It was fun while it lasted, and like I don't know, it felt like it was a vacation I got to take like at somebody else's house.
Yeah.
And just live,
just
enjoy,
like
and then and eventually it actually became real.
So what happened like after that 3 months?
So after that 3 months, I remember it like once, sometime there, he was like, I don't think I want this to stop after 3 months. like what happened.
Also before the
in
3 months
December.
even.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. And I was like, sure. And then afterwards, like closer to the time, he was like, for real, like yo. So that's, I think, when I realized this is serious.
Yeah.
And then I had to decide, like, okay, what does it mean for this thing to be longer than 3 months?
Yeah.
And I really did like him, I must say. I definitely said I love you, but at that point, lol, sorry, babe. I was
capping.
Was I capping? It felt like love, but
okay,
because I didn't know anything.
Yeah.
Outside of that, I didn't know what romantic love felt like, and I didn't know that it's the same as all love, the same love you have for your friends or your siblings or your mother. So I didn't know how deep it's meant to be. I was just like, I guess I love you. But thereafter, I definitely did, really love him.
Yeah.
The fairy tale also disappeared, and it was real, like in real love situations where there's difficulty, there's strife, there's rubbing against each other, the things you have to overcome, compromise. And I think that's when I was like, okay, this is in reach, it's in the hands, and
like it's here.
Yeah, it's here, and it's different from what I expected. Because I only thought it was playful, fun fairy tale, but I'm really glad that I'm within the real things.
I'm glad for you also.
Yeah, I think fairy tales get boring.
Yeah.
They're not real.
They're not realistic at all. And I think the test, I don't really want to call it a test because, it's like life, but the test of the depth of that connection and I guess the extent that you would go for that other person it comes through in the strife and the difficult times and all of that. If it was just fairy tale, then you wouldn't even know, what love is for real, because you just like, it's always nice. So it's always convenient to love that person, But, wow, this is interesting. So, what is love to you? Like, what does it mean?
Sure, that's a lot. That's a hard one.
Yeah.
It's so layered. To me, love is, something outside of yourself that you feel for this other person. You're rooting for them. Like, you want the best for them. You want to see them genuinely happy. You pray for good things for them.
Yeah.
You think of them. You just want them to be uplifted and supported. You want them to have a safe space. For me, if I think of what it means to love someone, it's me trying to do those things in any way possible, and the things I say and the actions I take, in the experiences we share. It's, I root for you. I want you to succeed. I want you to be the best person you could possibly be. I want you to be the happiest. And so I think love it definitely transcends, like, a relationship vibes.
Yeah.
It definitely transcends, like, physical intimacy. It's so much deeper. And also for me, I think it's a bit reflective, or it should be rather, of God's love, which is just overwhelming. Like, ain't nobody rooting for you like
literally
the man upstairs.
Literally, like, you better preach.
Even, when you are the trashiest person, and it's from that lens where you can, like, look and be like, okay, I like my way, but for the good of this person, for the good of this relationship, for us to move forward, I'm willing to compromise. I'm willing to whatever, obviously within, like, a safe space. not tolerant of abuse or anything like that. But yeah, and that goes for my friends, that goes for, my family, that goes for my man. Like, love is love.
Yeah, and you know what? Everything that you just said, none of it was related to, it's like love feeling that you feel on the inside of your heart, and it's just like,
bruh, don't
skip a beat.
Wow, don't drag them that feel the beats.
No,
bruh.
man, I'm not dragging nobody. Please don't cancel me. I'm not dragging nobody. I'm just saying, like, I acknowledge the feeling. Let's not go there. But I acknowledge the feeling. But I'm just saying, like, it's always more, and I think it also is a decision to, continue, because like what you're saying now is like, I could do this myself, you know what I'm saying, like, and have my own back and do things my way, but I'm gonna decide to wake up today and like give you a call even though I really don't feel like talking to people today, like all those things I think are helpful in like maintaining relationships in the times where it doesn't feel like you don't even like the person. You're just like, boy, like, what's going on? But you still make that decision on the daily to like love them even though you don't like them, if that makes sense.
Makes super sense.
Yeah.
People are annoying as hell, including myself, all of us.
But like, so you bring up the love of God, right? And that's like, we've always been taught it's like unconditional. There's nothing that can separate you, which for me, I feel like it makes it easier to feel like a trashy human being and still feel like, you know what I'm saying, like, okay, he loves me though. I mean, I'll do better, but he loves me. But now, if you have a person that, I guess, in like opposing thought, we've been taught whose love is not unconditional, it's definitely conditional.
100%.
How does it feel to just like have them kind of embody that love of God, where you know that this person has flaws and they don't even have to be here, truth be told, but I messed up and they still here, or I'm difficult and they still here, whatever the case is, and they like continue to choose you?
I think that's one of the wonders of, I don't know, human pairing, or because we're really selfish as human beings, and if God is a standard, we're really far. Let me speak for myself. I'm really far. And love in the human sense is 100% conditional. Like 100%. Even for me, for
like even
for
from
everyone.
parents.
Yeah, exactly. It's conditional, and I think to some extent it's okay for it to be conditional, because we don't have the tools to deal with unconditional love, and we just also don't have the power and the responsibility that comes with that. And so how does it feel for someone to choose you even though they don't have to, and to sometimes I don't know, tolerate what they wouldn't have to. It's a wild feeling. I think I was talking to one of my other friends about something similar recently. I was telling Cats, like, I got a voice note from my Nika, and I was like, is this guy talking about me? I'm so shook. Like,
was it like an endearing?
And it was endearing. I was just like, okay. I was even a little bit confused. Like, okay,
like, what is the wrong?
Yeah, because I think you have to see in yourself firstly that you're not perfect, and know that. And know that you can't expect other people to be perfect, and then really appreciate whatever that other person is giving you in terms of time, quirk, personality, whatever. And then when you have that, it's a bit easier to say like, oh, okay, they didn't do this perfectly, or they messed up like this, but I still appreciate what we have. But it also takes a sort of contentment with what you have. If you keep seeking, whether it's perfection or if there's something you're chasing, your soul is at unrest because you feel like there's something you lack. You will never be okay. You will move on like a, in the blink of an eye.
Yeah.
And just chase whatever you're looking for. That person will, I don't know, you didn't tip the waiter enough, I'm out. I'm gone. Cheap as names, like anything.
Yeah.
The threshold for tolerance is low.
Definitely. It's wild. It is wild.
It's so crazy.
Wild.
But I think that's one thing he has is a sort of assurance in what he knows he wants, and a sort of comfort in what he has.
Yeah.
He's okay with it.
Yeah.
And that he obviously knows that they're like gorgeous people outside. They are,
which you're one of.
With like, think of your perfect ideal. He knows that is out there, but when you're kind of content with what you have, when you value it, you're okay.
Yeah.
You still acknowledge what's out there, but it's not like you're looking for it. So now you think about, okay, so if I react in a certain way, what is it gonna do to this relationship? Is it something I want to continue?
Yeah.
I don't know, you kind of go back there, assess, and then move from there. I also try and do that.
I hear that loud and clear. So like before the relationship, he used to have a certain like idea of amends and like that you would, and funny enough, they would also be a doctor. They would,
did I say that?
Literally, like I've thought about this so many times.
Do you know what? I didn't even want to be a doctor.
The manifestation here.
That's so crazy. I didn't even know what I was doing.
Child.
It was definitely not that they would. Was I crushing on someone? Maybe it was. Maybe I was telling you this thinking of someone in mind.
Maybe, I don't know. Because this was...
I don't even want to be a doctor.
This was like second year.
Yeah, I was definitely crushing on someone.
Really?
Yeah, those mini crushes. It's all fancy. Okay, but yeah.
Yeah, you used to speak about, even like in that book you were writing, it was kind of like a similar person, that you had spoken about. So it actually does make sense that it would have been an actual physical person that you would have seen every day. But anyway, like the story was in the fantasies that like this is the first dude you're with, and like it's like the perfect dude.
Wow.
He's a doctor. You guys have like busy schedules, but it's like you come back home for like safety or whatever, and it's like vibes with that person. And I guess you haven't thought about it because you didn't even know that you've ever said this to me. So this question kind of comes off weird, maybe. But like, how is it to have literally that like happen? Like, what is that?
Firstly, I will say maybe from the place that I was in like second year, that seemed ideal.
Yeah.
We're both in the same career. We're both busy because there was an ambition in me that was so hungry for stuff, and I couldn't imagine someone not matching it. But coming home as a home being safe and a relationship being safe, even now if I think of that, that still sounds nice.
Yeah.
I definitely idealize busyness a lot less now. Having it now, it's so complex, yes, he's a doctor. So I guess when I debrief, maybe he has more context to what I'm talking about. So okay, cool. But that also means we're living on time that's not our own.
Yeah.
And you're almost owned by the system. Like your whole life revolves around work. Community acquired is the way to go. Nosocomials. I don't know. I don't know if I would have chosen a doctor again. Yeah. Okay, that's just that part. But for the person I have, I'm cool. Obviously, I have like and then I think we've spoken about the busyness. Yeah. Being less busy. You can still be ambitious and less busy. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe you can't. I'm not sure.
So you're saying like even though it might have been a fantasy, then like it wasn't a realistic kind of. The fantasy was like rosy, right? It was giving this would be perfect.
Yes.
But now
the
in
reality
context is like actually I wouldn't fantasize about that.
Yes. Okay. But again, it's a fantasy. You could never know.
Yeah, that's true. And it's always something you haven't experienced that you fantasize
exactly.
about. So there's actually
And the coming home thing, though, I must say, I got that on lock. To a place where you both vibe and you feel safe and comfortable. And sure, sometimes I think, yo man, I just wonder where that guy came from, because he gets me. We get each other. Just it's a vibe.
It's a vibe, guys. I feel like that's what most people strive for.
It's a vibe.
So I'm happy that you got it. So Christianity and dating and being young. What does that look like?
I was telling my little sister about this. If I was where I am now in this walk, I never would have been this future. Heck, dude. 100%. It's just that I feel like sometimes God finds a way to use your weaknesses and all that. Still for his own good, to the glory of his name, for his purposes, and I think there's a purpose in my relationship.
100%.
That's what I'll say. But it's hard because when you're in that young adult phase, that's where you figure out who you are. That's where you're questioning a lot of things. That's where you want to experience a lot of things, and I definitely went for it. But the thing is, I think with the real understanding of, who God is, what he wants, what the Bible's trying to say, if you know those things and you truly believe them and you live contrary, there's a disconnect.
There's like such a disconnect.
So, I will just say that where I was then, I was definitely not a Christian. In the way a Christian is
like Christ-like.
Yes.
You're just maybe
I was just going with the
familiar
flow.
with church, and
familiar with church.
Have a prayer warrior as a mom.
Yes, prayer as a mom. Like, mom, pray for me. Going with the flow, Still believing. I still prayed. But it's I don't know. It's like I was asleep.
I get that.
If I was to compare it like that, and from a place of sleeping, you please your own flesh, bruh, and that's perfect for the dating world.
Exactly.
You're keen to do whatever, try whatever, have a good time. Christians. So that's the question. Are you, firstly, do you identify as a Christian? And what does that mean to you, for this question?
For the person, okay.
And what does that mean to you before we can even get into Christian and dating? Because that's a hard path to walk.
It is.
And also, there was no such thing as dating from the Christian perspective back in the day. They saw them chick in the fields or whatever, she was looking cute. Maybe they talked a few times. Maybe they talked a few times and, they were organizing, you were 14, hormones were just hitting. It's very different now. There are levels to this thing. So I think people should also be given grace, man. Young adulthood is a time of exploring, of finding out who you are, of coming into self. So it's a lot of pressure to just go with something that you're not 100% sure about.
And that's the thing, I was speaking to my stepmom whenever it was, and I was saying it's tough. Obviously there's this whole dichotomy, right, of for you to be able, this is what society says. I don't know really where I am with that. But for you to be able to pick a mate that's like proper and know what you want or whatever, you need to have been tried maybe 3 times for you to reach that conclusion of like, okay, this I don't want. I don't know, because that's why people will encourage people to date before like getting married.
Settling down.
Figure out what you want first, you know what I'm saying? And kind of step outside of the fantasy of who you think
people will be.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily disagree with that, just saying.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't know where I am in that. But the other side is, you know what I'm saying, like take the time that you would be spending with these people to develop yourself and kind of come into self and know who you are and be a whole individual before you try to like build something with someone else, which is also on the other side, because what is whole individual and like how long does that actually take?
No.
You know. I don't know, but basically I was like, the chat was, if you find yourself in a relationship, you're married, and you decide finally that, you know what, I'm going to do some work on myself, I'm going to unlearn some things, I'm going to settle some childhood traumas or whatever, and you come out a different person outside of that process, what does it mean for your relationship? And like, it rocked her.
Really?
Yeah, anyway.
So relationships are meant to be dynamic. So as you're having these conversations with yourself, and you're not having these conversations with your partner, you know, and discussing and empowering each other in this process. I mean, if you're with like a bum-ass person, like, what can I tell you? It's gonna be hard. Yeah, it's gonna be hard, but I don't know. I would hope that you chose your person out of character.
Yeah.
And, you know, irrespective of the context, you should be able to chat it out. You should be like, hey man, this is the time I'm taking to develop myself, to improve myself, to, you know, battle all the things I wanted. Like, and I hope that that person has nothing but support
for you. Exactly. It's what it should be, ideally.
I know. The world is not an ideal.
Definitely not. Okay, so what's I lost my train of thought. Like going into the relation, right? I hear you saying you weren't really like within the relation. It was just like vibes.
We're definitely in a relationship.
Yeah,
I was
but
just
I'm just
saying.
Yeah. So how did you even care at that point what that person's religious affiliation was?
So I didn't, because I thought it was temporary first. But even then, okay, there were still things that attracted me to him that would be relevant for a long-term partner.
Okay.
I don't know why, but I definitely chose someone I could definitely see myself with in the long term. Just
even
based on, even if it was just based on like character-wise. It was just like, I don't know, I think we spoke about it like when we, I don't know, got in a relationship, because he asked me, we were having a conversation like about like honesty and trust and commitment and all of these things that I always say, like, these are things that are important to me, and he was also like saying what's important to him, and we were just bouncing off of each other. And you know, there are things I knew that I wanted, and I guess even if we were chilling, I still want that. Like, I would always want to feel in a safe, respected place, even if it's temporary. So I guess it was me holding myself in high esteem, or being sure that even if it's just for company, this is the kind of company. But I definitely didn't think like, 5 years down the line, it might, you know, we'll still be there. So
interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, so when finally you told me your mama, just for my own personal curiosity,
that he wasn't Christian,
what had happened? Because
so my mom was like, so firstly, so when he said he had a dream that met my mom. Because I was not like, oh, come meet my mom.
Yes.
But I was like, okay. So I was like, do you want to meet her? And he was like, I don't mind. But now, in retrospect, that's him hinting.
Yeah,
that's
like,
how he does it.
It's time.
It's time. But it was not time. It was like 2 months in.
Really?
Or like 3 months in. I think it was like 3 months in. Anyway, my sister was having a matric dance. And she was getting ready, like pre-drinks at her friend's house.
Yeah.
And I was coming from Junction, and I told Tabania that I'm like, oh, you want to come? Since you wanted to, meet
people.
Yeah. And then he met my sister at the same time, and he was just chilling with me, Manuela, chilling with me, having chats or whatever. And Mom was like, is that your friend? I was like, yeah. Then afterwards when he left, because I just said this is Tiffany, I didn't say anything else. She was like, is that your boyfriend? And then I said, well, what is a boyfriend, Mom? Because I'm a mess.
So hold on, this was 3 months into now the real thing, or like still vibes?
No.
Like after the vibes?
No. That's after you asked me out. Like,
okay.
Actually. I was still vibing though. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, so he meets my mom.
Mm-hmm.
It was super chill. Then my mom asked me, "Is this your boyfriend?" I'm like, "Mom, what's a boyfriend?" We didn't really talk about it. Then we were going to Botanical Gardens, but I came to give my mom something first. So I'm like, okay, let's go.
Yeah.
And we'll just pop by home and then we'll go. Like, then he meets her properly. Like, this is my boyfriend vibes. Then it was chilled. She asked him, don't you think Sharon's dress is too short? Then he was like, yeah.
It's like this is a test.
Also, anyway, but it was pretty chilled otherwise. Then, at a different time, my mom was like, okay, tell me about him. Is he Christian? I'm like, no.
I think I remember this chat.
What is he? I was like, he's atheist. Because at that time he was atheist.
Yeah.
She was like, what? Atheist? It's like, yeah, atheist. She was like,
I'm sure she prayed for 7 years. She said, not my daughter, in the name of Jesus. I'm so sure, child.
She was like, atheist? No. She literally did that. But she was like, okay.
In her head, she was like, I'm going to fix this. Don't worry about it.
I'm going to go to work.
You.
And I don't know. I think she was also quite shocked because I'm not a liker of boys. And I don't know if she thought that maybe I'd only bring people home that I thought were serious.
Yeah.
And I don't even know. I don't know. You can be my mom. I don't really. Whatever. So I think she also didn't know how serious it is. So she was just rocked, man. But she took it like a champ, must say. Homie was just like, atheist. Took a deep breath. But yeah. And she was like, no, we're gonna talk about it.
Yeah.
And I think she just wanted to understand his perspective, which she definitely does now. Now I'd consider him agnostic. He acknowledges a higher power, but he's not committed to any religious group, and he struggles with the idea of Jesus. Just does not. He's like, God, I understand. God is universal. But
I feel that
this
chat.
Jesus thing is not adding up in my head. That's what he said. But
I feel that chat. I've been in that chat previously. But in closing, this has been a long chat. Appreciate you though. For some of us who bear some scars that have come from people that we loved and that were supposed to love us, or maybe they did and What like would you say? You know what I'm saying? Like, obviously that changes your view on love. I remember there was a time where I was even struggling with God in general, because there was a thing of I reject love because like somebody showed me something. But if God is love, then it's clashing, you know. So it just like it was a whole existential situation. But what would you like say to us just to help us along?
And by us, I literally mean us, including myself, because it is a journey. I would say, first, you know what you struggle with. I think identifying that, okay, this is coming from a place of trauma, like helps at least compartmentalize. Okay, I feel this way because of this. And when you know that, remind yourself in those situations. Identify what you're feeling and be like, okay, this is probably the root. How can I try and give it, you know, a fair shot, or the benefit of the doubt? Or, you know, if I had a little sister that had not experienced anything and, you know, had the whole world in her oyster and, you know, got an opportunity to experience love, how would I want her to experience it outside of you with your, you know, with your trauma? And trying to, like, giving it to someone else makes it a little bit easier to think through it. Okay, maybe this person isn't just doing this to manipulate me because they want something. Maybe, just maybe, they may just genuinely, you know, love me for whatever reason. But I would always hold a pinch of salt or a place to doubt, or maybe that's a problem with me that I still need to work on. You know, where I'll you know, I'll give you like 90%, but 10% I just have, just in case you you let me down, you know. just in case
I need
you
to
like
be able to bounce back.
I just need to be able to.
Can't be broken forever.
Can't have it all. Yeah, but that's also a complicated thing. I don't advise that.
Definitely.
Don't advise that. But yeah, try and think of it from a perspective of an innocent someone else who may benefit. Because we always think the negative. You can't benefit, but maybe you can. You know. And what do you have to lose? Because there will always be the weight of getting hurt, or, you know, experiencing something wonderful. And sometimes when you keep choosing that you won't experience something wonderful, your life takes that trajectory.
Definitely. Okay. So remove yourself, think about it as if it was someone else, and just like process through it and identify what it is that's going on and help compartmentalize the situation. Alrighty, thank you.
That's my 2 cents.
It's a good 2 cents. We just watched a movie now. Them niggas were like, keep your heart open.
Yeah, so I think that's the thing. Keep your heart open.
Bruh, that thing be hard though. Like, I will be honest, because it's like, but it's also confirmation bias. Because if you're going through life with a certain lens, you're collecting evidence that supports your narrative. And you could be ignoring totally all the other people that have been genuine, and you know what I'm saying. So it's just like, life is lifing, guys. You know what? But anyway, thank you for your time. Really enjoyed the chat. Catch you guys in the next video.